What's going on, Taurus? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be your reading for the rest of April 2024. So in this reading, Taurus, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy for the rest of April. We're going to take a look at some things you do not see coming. We're also going to get some advice from your angels and spirit guides for you, and so much more regarding the month of April 2024, Taurus. So I really hope that you have all been doing super well. And I'm now going to pull the energy for you, and we'll see what is coming your way. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Taurus. One more card. Thank you. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this reading for you, Taurus. So before we get into the tarot, let's go ahead and start this reading off with some pre-shuffled oracle cards from the universe. And these oracle cards contain the themes, the overall theme that you're going to be dealing with in April. So let me show you them in successive order, and then we'll talk about them. The first one is the 10th house of career and success. It has to do with your reputation, but also the way that you make money in your career, what you're known for. You also have Venus, love and beauty. And Venus is, of course, the planet that rules Taurus, so nothing unfamiliar there. But then you have Chiron, which has to do with inner healing and your deepest wound. And it's really where you can shoot yourself in the foot. And it's where, there's a theme in this reading where other people can use you as a springboard for their own success. And it kind of leaves you in the dust, like helping someone, but then not receiving any benefit for doing so. Or, like pouring all of your energy into a place that really does help someone, but it doesn't give you that practical benefit back to you. In some sort of way, this is your theme. So, Venus is what turns you on. It's what you love. It's how you receive love. It's your pleasure center. The 10th house is what you do for a living. And so the theme for a lot of you is going to be focusing on how you can do what you love, or how some of you are really going to be called to use the Taurus frequency of beauty, of groundedness, of sensuality, and somehow, pointing it up to your career and your reputation. And if you haven't done so already, if anyone was born with Venus deposited in the 10th house, they would make a great maitre d', or like a host at a restaurant. They're a great spokesperson for whatever they're involved in, because whatever career that you do or however you make money, you can make people want to be a part of it with Venus there. But since Chiron is here, there's definitely a deep wound coming up for you in April 2024, having to do with your career, love and beauty, and your deepest wound. And what I sense right off the bat is that many of you have really been helping people in your life, even if it's subtly, indirectly. Some of you it will be more directly. But there's a sense here that you similar to the last reading, like you haven't juiced your spiritual rank, but it's more of a practical term this time, where, there could be something to where the Venus energy in the 10th house may be something that is part of your deepest wound in April 2024, where if you really channeled Venus, your own energy, into your 10th house, I feel that this is somehow a possibility for you to heal your deepest wound in relation to these subjects, okay? So we're going to get into it in a moment. There's definitely something about your relationships, Taurus, or there's definitely something about up until this point, up until April 2024, many of you have been you have been the catalyst that has allowed other people to succeed based on your own Venus energy. You could be giving good energy out to people, but there's something here that maybe it's directed in the wrong places, and if you can redirect it subtly, I feel that it would be much more beneficial for you, because this whole reading is focused on your finances, or your ground, how you're grounded in the physical world. Many of you will be traveling in April 2024, or moving in general, not for all of you. So let's go ahead and get into the tarot. Your opportunity is the Tower, and the Tower has to do with a foundation coming to an end. It has to do with a moment of awakening and shock here. So I feel in your opportunity is to blow up a foundation of your life. For many of you, this will be having to do with your career and the way that you view success and your foundation when it comes to that, Taurus. So your own, there may be a real switch up to your career at this time, but it may feel like things are falling apart, and that's your opportunity. The Tower has to do with things that are deteriorating. It's a time of decay, which is always what's necessary for a time of, it precedes growth and regeneration. So don't resist this as your opportunity. If something is falling apart in your life when it comes to your career and love and beauty and your deepest wound, your opportunity is to embrace that blow up, okay? You also have in your challenge the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords has to do with stuckness and stagnation. This person, it has to do with someone who feels that they are more stuck than they actually are, and it's very similar to Chiron energy, kind of like self-undoing, and so your challenge is that you think your belief systems, the swords have to do with the mind and conflict, and so your challenge is that your beliefs or your mind is telling you that you're more stuck than you actually are. And I feel there's a lot of tweaks coming in for you this month that are going to change the way that you operate when it comes to Venus and the 10th house, love, pleasure, and money. And Venus is all about beauty. And there could be a real money wound here as well. The 10th house, Chiron and Venus here. I would advise all of you to really look at your own beliefs about money. Is it evil? Even if you consciously don't believe that money is evil, there could be cultural conditioning, programming that makes you not want to become rich because of how it will affect your relationships. I feel for many of you here. So there's a certain level of stuckness here. Your challenge also may be, you're kind of stuck with this moment of awakening. You're stuck with this shock coming into your life. Okay, so we're going to clarify it in a moment. When it comes to your overall general energy, it's really interesting. You have the Judgment card in reverse, the Three of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles here. So, the Judgment card in reverse has to do with a major shift in consciousness and the ability to discern well and the ability to make a judgment, a sound judgment. But because it's in reverse here, in the beginning of the month, or even as you're listening to this, there may be something that you're not seeing from the lens that Spirit wants you to see it from, is what I feel, because it's right next to the Three of Cups, which has to do with social interaction. It can represent people that you work with. It can represent a friend group. It can even represent your family or anyone that you're kind of like close with and, capable of having a good time with. There may be something here about, that energy is misguided here. You may be trying to help people with their career that really don't even take it seriously, because you have the Five of Pentacles here, which has to do with being on the outside. The number 5 has to do with change. The Pentacles have to do with the earth realm. So your physical life is changing here. There is something definitely about the people that you surround yourself. You may be unconsciously taking on their beliefs about who you are as a person, and you may not want to upset them. Spirit could be trying to give you downloads, but you're not accepting them because of how it would impact your social life, is what I sense here, Taurus. Now, there could also be people around you that are judging you negatively and kind of writing you off, the Judgment card in reverse, the Three of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles, is that someone is like, and this could be you as well, misinterpreting a foundation that's being blown up in your life. Oh my God, I'm a failure, everything is going to wreck, or I really needed this foundation to be here. And for some of you, this foundation is meant to be blown up. And for a lot of you, it's going to have to do with the way that you make money and how that relates to your relationships in some sort of way. So we're going to have to clarify it in a moment as well. When it comes to what you don't see coming, you have the Three of Wands, the Temperance card, and the Nine of Pentacles here. So there's definitely a lot more stability and healing and financial abundance coming in for you and what you don't see coming. But there is something about waiting, being patient, and remaining optimistic. The Three of Wands is someone who has made a choice and they're waiting for their ships to come in, remaining optimistic even though the manifestation has not come yet. They're still in like the visualization phase, remaining optimistic. The Temperance card has to do with balance and harmony. It's also an angelic frequency. The Nine of Pentacles has to do with independence, financial independence here as well. So I do feel like there's something that's going to open up for you that will lead to harmony and financial independence in what you don't see coming. But there's something about remaining patient and not judging what this month looks like. Not thinking that you have all the answers and like, because whenever the Tower is in your opportunity, there are forces beyond your control. There are forces impeding. This is divine intervention. There's something happening that is beyond the confines of your own willpower. There's some sort of spiritual thing happening here. And so it's really important to like go with the flow with that, to ride the wave of that and not to make a judgment too quickly. Because that's what I see here with the Judgment card in reverse being here in the beginning of the month. There could be a snap judgment that you make about your life or about people around you that is simply, it's coming from a, not the best place or something like that. There could also be something that you're missing here, especially when it comes to the people that you work with. You need to make sure that you're not being used as a springboard for other people's success and that you're not being overworked and underpaid. I feel like that's a frequency that many of you are going to be dealing with. It's your deepest wound in some sort of way here. Okay, Taurus. Now, there's also something about, with Venus and Chiron being here is a frequency of I can never be loved enough. Anyone who has like Venus conjunct Chiron in their birth chart, their deepest wound is about the ability to receive love. And I feel like with the Judgment card being in reverse, the Three of Cups and the Five of Pentacles is like, make sure that you don't box love into a small definition. I will only feel loved if this happens. There's something here about maybe knowing that you are worthy of love and you are worthy of a successful career and you are worthy of having a beautiful reputation. There may be, for many of you, I don't know. And then the advice is to get very practical, though. The advice is the Eight of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles. So this is working hard, focusing on your legacy, and being adjustable. The Two of Pentacles has to do with balance, and it could have to do with someone who's working one job and preparing for a move. The Ten of Pentacles has to do with your legacy, and the Eight of Pentacles has to do with hard work. It has to do with productivity and just swinging the hammer in some sort of way. So in some sort of way with, the 10th house being here and all these pentacles being in your advice, it's to get your money right here, or it's to change the way that you relate to the physical world in some sort of way, Taurus. Like your physical life is changing in April 2024 is what I would definitely will say. I feel like there's this frequency of as well of you giving all of your Venus energy, your love and your beauty to something, a person, a place, or a thing that it's all well and good to do that, maybe on a spiritual level, but I feel like the angels are saying that you need to come back down to earth in April 2024, and you need to, maybe don't do things for only altruism or philanthropy or for the benefit of other, or I'm going to sacrifice myself for the benefit of other. As long as another person feels loved, I'm a good person. You know, something like that could be really changing for you. And yeah, utilizing that Venus energy in a correct way when it comes to your career. You know, like, because some of you, whatever you do, whatever your chosen line of work is in this life, even if you're figuring it out, you're someone who is going to make the whole world love that thing. Or you're going to be someone who presents it in a pleasant way. You know, you could be like a tattoo artist that people just, it really makes people like, wow, this is like a spiritual art form. This is very beautiful. You know what I mean? Some of you are going to have to confront the shame or how you shoot yourself in the foot when it comes to your own inability to love what you do. And even if you love what you do, there may be a deep wound about, oh, I love who I work with, I love what I do. But do you really? You know, this, for many of you, this is going to be about surrounding yourself with people who are on your level or who are on a higher level than you. Because I always say, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You know what I mean? Like, there are levels to this life, and this is what seems to be on the table for you. So let's go ahead and start clarifying this reading. I want to clarify why the Tower is here in your opportunity. Why is the Tower here in your opportunity? Well, interestingly enough, the Tower is clarified by 2 court cards running straight forward into each other. You have the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands here as your opportunity. You're running right into each other. So there could be something to do with romance and speed, or the ability to quickly move on from a situation having to do with someone and old wounding. You have the Nine of Wands as well, which has to do with unfinished business. And so with this being your opportunity here, Taurus, I feel like there's some sort of, you know, the Knights have like a youthful, adventurous energy. So I feel like there's definitely an opportunity for you to go on an adventure, to make a logical decision, to, like, the Knight of Swords is someone who doesn't think about the long-term consequences of their actions here. And I feel like that's almost like your wound in some sort of way, because the 10th house is to do with like the long-term consequences. You also have the 10 of Pentacles in your advice here, and the 2 of Pentacles next to it. So I feel like some of you are just so worried about arriving at death safely that you have a lot more to give than you have given, is what I feel. And, you know, you may be also, you know, some sort of thing to do with this. This may involve people, this opportunity, with 2 court cards. I don't know. Let's just keep going. Let's clarify why the Judgment card in reverse is here. The Judgment card in reverse is clarified by the Queen of Swords, the King of Pentacles, the 7 of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. So once again, there's some sort of logical decision about money, or there's some sort of rationale or a boundary that you need to put up when it comes to your career. This could be someone here that you're misjudging. You know, this could be someone who's more unreliable than you're seeing right now. Once again, this could be people in a business that you're already operating. This could be something that you're working towards in your career that really, it might have to do with something that, it might have to do with people, and like, because the Knight of Wands has to do with people as well. The Judgment card in reverse is clarified by 3 court cards. It's really interesting to me that the 3 of Cups would be here as well, which has to do with 3 people seemingly. And so the 7 of Cups has to do with sorting through illusion or having to make a really tough emotional choice. And so I feel like for many of you, it's like almost like you've been giving and getting nothing in return. And or it's like you've been waiting for someone to put you on as well, is what I honestly feel here. You know, I feel that maybe you are maybe there's something here about your relationships and your career, and betting on the wrong people or trusting the wrong people, like something like that is what I feel here. Or like, the wrong selection of business partner, the wrong selection of a mentor, a business mentor. There's definitely a lot of moving parts with people that you might be not judging correctly here. And you might be really, for a lot of you, I sense that you're being used as a springboard for other people's success. And I don't care how old you are, it could have been something that's been going on your whole life. Let's clarify why the Five of Pentacles is here. The Five of Pentacles is clarified by the Two of Wands and the Fool. And this is all about a risky option in front of you and a safer option behind you. The Fool is all about a new beginning and a spiritual renewal here, and moving in a completely new direction. So many of you might have to do something a little bit risky in April 2024 in order to work on this 10th house Venus frequency with Chiron, of your deepest wound being around love and your career and your reputation. In order to really have a reputation of love, I would suggest that you need to be a little bit vulnerable. But, I don't know, Taurus. I hope this is helping you. This is just what I'm getting. Yeah, there's something about stunted potential here as well. Let's clarify why the Eight of Swords is in your challenge. Yeah, I said the Magician wanted to come out before. I said stunted potential. The Eight of Swords is clarified by the Magician, the Ace of Swords, and the Eight of Cups here when it comes to your challenge. And so this is all about the Sword of Truth and your potential and spiritual energy. And the Eight of Cups is all about walking away from a situation that's no longer satisfying you. That's your challenge of keeping you stuck here. So for many of you, it's interesting. Like last reading, I said, like you have not utilized all of your spiritual potential, and even the truth of what your soul has come here to do. You have not really come into full alignment with that. And that's like a mission for all of us to do at our own rate. So I don't want you to beat yourself up for it. But there's definitely something here about like a major change to your relationships, or the way that you approach your 10th house, Venus and Chiron here, that something is definitely keeping you stuck here. And for many of you, it's going to be, like the greatest risk that you'll ever take is not taking a risk at all. And that's really what I feel with the Tower being in your opportunity. Let's clarify why Chiron is here. I don't usually clarify oracle cards, but I'm going to do it. Why is Chiron here? The Lovers, yeah. Yeah. This has to do with the people that you choose to work with in your career, and your own inability to be independent from them in a certain way that's healthy. Chiron is clarified by the Nine of Pentacles, which is to do with financial independence. The Nine of Pentacles is also in what you don't see coming. The Nine of Pentacles is someone who can come and go as they please. They don't really have to check in with anyone. They've created a life of abundance, and they've already manifested what they want. The Lovers has to do with a choice. It has to do with soulmate energy. It has to do with like a choice between how are you going to treat the people around you. And so Chiron here with the Lovers and the Nine of Pentacles here, for some of you here, there's definitely a wound around your own independence and codependence with other people, and how that in turn affects your career choices, or how that influences your money. If you hang around with 5 people who make $100,000 a year, you're going to be the 6th person. If you hang around with 5 millionaires, you're going to be the 6th millionaire. If you hang around with 5 broke people, you're going to be the 6th broke person. And that might not be easy to hear for some of you. Now, for some of you as well, your deepest wound is that people that you care about, you will like sacrifice your own best interest to see them do well. And I feel like your deepest wound is somehow to put yourself first in some sort of way that makes sense for you. Because like there could be a lot of like kind of like a guilt for doing your own thing here. And this reading isn't about creating separation, but if you try to make everyone else happy when your cup isn't full, you're going to make everyone around you miserable ultimately. So your cup has to be overflowing in order for you to make anyone really happy around you, or to even truly help them and yourself at the same time. So let's clarify why this advice. Let's clarify why the Two of Pentacles is here. Two of Pentacles is clarified by the Tower and the Emperor. So there could be something here in the advice that you're going back and forth with here that really needs to be dropped, or there needs to be a complete foundation blown up. The Emperor is a combination of all four kings. Here, the Tower has to do with a major foundation being blown up. Once again, a moment of reckoning, awakening. The Tower is also in your opportunity, and it's also in your advice. So there's some decision that you need to make to completely blow up an old foundation of your life here, and it's all going to be related to your career and your money. Interestingly enough, you also have the Empress popping out of the deck. So now you have the Empress, the Tower, and the Emperor here, which is really interesting in your advice. Let's clarify why the Ten of Pentacles is here in your advice as well. Yeah. The Ten of Pentacles is clarified by the Page of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Four of Swords here. This has to do with youthful, optimistic, fun-loving, cheerful energy, destiny, the wheel of your fate starting to spin, and healing. And so I feel like the Ten of Pentacles here being clarified by the Page of Cups is very much so related to that Venus love and beauty, conjunct the 10th house of career and success for you. It's in the theme for you. Now it's also in your advice. There's something that you have, the advice is there's some sort of thing that you can really do to have much more fun when it comes to building your own legacy, to changing your career, to changing your legacy, to recreate yourself. The thing is that the Page of Cups is actually a mystery unto themselves. The Page of Cups is one of the most mysterious court cards here. And so I feel like there's something to do with, changing what your legacy is, or enhancing it in some sort of way by adding love to it. And maybe instead of giving unconditional love to people around you who don't have your same best interest in hand, or, there's something here that you can do, to have more fun, or to like feel better about what you're doing in your career. Like the 10th house in Venus and beauty, like you've heard the quote, if you do what you love, you'll never work another day in your life. And I feel like that is your opportunity, is to figure out what that is. This is to do with a portal in your advice, and this has to do with healing and stability. So I feel like there could be a lot of career changes happening for you, like on the low. Like for some of you, you're just kind of like figuring this out on the inside. For some of you, it's going to be all over the place in your external world. In April. Yeah, I feel like you got to know your own worth here, and to really make a decision to change the way that you channel your love, the Venus energy that you are, and how you can really put that into your career. So with that being said, I'm going to conclude this reading. I hope that it helped you, and I'll talk to you next